Hi, Andrew Bell here with you at the end of a very big real estate month here on the Gold Coast. As predicted, the Gold Coast was bulging at the seams with holiday makers right throughout the first 3 weeks of the month. There's no official tourism figures in yet, but the no vacancy signs were out in front of every building and the streets were full and we were blessed with great weather. So what happened in terms of real estate? Well, of course, we had our Event 2014 program in which 120, the widest selection of properties right throughout the Gold Coast region, participated. Over 160 pages of advertising in the Gold Coast Bulletin and hundreds of ads in prominent locations on the internet. Plus, marketing into our database of over 200,000 resulted in 1,924 inspections by groups of people at our open homes. Inquiries via the internet added hundreds of additional buyer inquiries. All of this culminated in our auction week, where at the close of January, we transacted 151 sales. These were not just our auction properties, but also additional properties marketed throughout the month. So what did we learn? Well, there's incredible competition in the lower price brackets. On the screen at present is a graph showing where all the sales activity was during 2013 in different price brackets, and clearly in both houses and apartments the activity is strongest in the sub 600,000 price bracket. Naturally, within this grouping there are a percentage of first home buyers, owner occupiers and investors. In fact, the current data nationally shows that there are more investor sales than there are owner occupier sales at present. We're also noting that properties being offered for sale by private treaty are usually selling for figures less than those going to auction. That's probably understandable. With private treaty, often the first person to inspect a property offers to pay the full price, and the seller is none the wiser that there may be others who would have paid more. There is really no testing of the market and to see what it would pay. At least at an auction, every buyer gets equal opportunity to purchase the property, and yes, there is competition and ultimately the true market value is established. But with so much buyer demand in the lower price brackets, it is much easier to determine where properties should be priced, as there are lots of sales to provide comparative analysis. Yet in the top end of the market, there's certainly been a significant increase in buyer interest, but the sales are not occurring as fast as in the lower price brackets. In January, we sold 13 properties over 1 million. And amongst that were quite a number of properties over the 2 million bracket. So you can see that this is certainly well up on activity in 2013. What stood out clearly is that in the higher price brackets, the perception of true market value today is substantially different between buyers and sellers. For example, at our Prestige auction, where we offered 12 properties to auction, there were 33 registered bidders, which is an average of just under 3 bidders per property. There was lots of very active bidding, despite nearly all of the bids being significantly higher than prices being offered in 2013. Sales didn't happen under the hammer, but have been happening post-auction through further negotiations. So the lessons throughout January were that people were aware that Gold Coast prices have jumped by about 10% in 2013. Properties have perhaps moved from being real bargains back at the beginning of 2013 to fair market value in 2014. We're certainly in a more balanced market, but there is no question that buyers outnumber sellers. That equation may shift during the course of the year. We learnt that marketed properties receive considerably more interest than non-marketed properties. And where competitive bidding is introduced, it certainly gives all the buyers the opportunity to purchase on equal terms. It has also demonstrated higher prices than non-auction properties. We've also learned, as I touched on a moment ago, that whilst there's been a huge resurgence in buyer numbers, there are naturally more in the lower price brackets, up perhaps around 600%, and less in the higher price brackets, up about 250%. We've also learned that at the top end of the market, there are no longer any desperate sellers, and therefore there are no bargains to be had. The month concluded on a really strong note. The event was regarded by observers, and in particular the usually hard marking media, as a great success. In fact, there is a website now, with details shown on screen, where you can go to and have a look at a video of some of the highlights, which only take a moment of your time. The amazing situation we find ourselves in at present is we have over 360 bidders that were registered for the 2 auctions, and only 80 of those so far have bought. So we still have over 250 people with finance approved, ready to buy, and simply don't have much stock of property to show them. We also have a huge number of additional pipeline buyers amongst the 1,924 people who inspected properties, so we are desperately looking for more stock. An amazing situation to be in, certainly a golden opportunity for anyone who is thinking of selling at present. So it has been a great start to the year, and from our memory, the strongest January that we've ever experienced in 24 years, operating here on the Gold Coast. We certainly hope that your January was a great start to the year, and we look forward to presenting a host of research material out of our annual property report over the newsletters ahead, and we hope that you find that both interesting and beneficial. So for now, best wishes. Till next time.